Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Edge Sports Network. Hope you guys are doing good. Hope you guys are staying safe and healthy. Got another interview for you guys today with Nathan Cayo of Richmond men's basketball. Nathan, thanks for coming on the site to talk with us. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing good, thanks. Glad to have you on. Looking forward to what you have to say. So we're going to start here early on in your career. I know you're from Montreal, Quebec. So, first of all, how is it making the adjustment from not only high school to college, but also just from Canada to the United States in general?
It's been good. It's been smooth.
hmm
My coaches have helped me out with everything school related, basketball. So it's been a smooth transition.
Yeah, and there's so many guys in the NBA today from Canada that have been really successful. Jamal Murray, Andrew Wiggins, RJ Barrett, just to name a few. Is there kind of a different style of play that you've noticed in Canada from the United States, or is it relatively similar, or are there any kind of noticeable differences in the game?
I'd probably say the size and athleticism.
hmm
I mean, it's obvious because we have so much less people in Canada, so you're
hmm
not gonna find as much talent. But yeah, probably the size difference.
Yeah, and not a lot of guys, from Canada, I feel like really settle on Richmond. So, what was kind of your decision to come to Richmond? How'd you find a school like Richmond that kind of fit your style of play, and how'd you kind of ultimately decide to come here?
When I watched a few games and
hmm
the practices when I visited Richmond, I really like the style where everyone's involved.
hmm
Everyone has to be able to do everything, score, pass, dribble, and that's something that was very similar to my high school.
hmm
And then the coaching staff and just the guys, the family atmosphere at Richmond just did it for me.
Yeah, I know going back to high school here, I know you saw a lot of success in high school. You averaged 19.6 points at 9.3 rebounds as a junior. And then as a senior, you were a first team all league selection. So, how'd you kind of see yourself grow throughout high school and how that translate to the NCAA? How'd that kind of get you ready for college basketball? And how'd you use those 2 seasons to kind of propel yourself to Richmond?
So I was at Brebeuf with
hmm
Coach Mike, and he's really exceptional for player development. And we've
hmm
had so many players from Brebeuf go to Division One. Like the year before me, Joseph Chartouni went Division One. Olivier Cadieux, a bunch of guys who had great teams. And
hmm
Mike really does an amazing job of preparing you on the court and off the court to go to the next level.
Yeah, when you got to Richmond your freshman year, you looked really prepared. You played in 32 games, started in a couple. Were you nervous for your first start? How'd you feel that game? Because I know for some guys that can be a little bit of a challenge to make that adjustment. But your freshman season, you did look really comfortable. How were you feeling in your first game and in your first start?
My first game, I was terrified. It was my first time playing in such a big crowd.
Uh-huh.
Like in Montreal, it's probably 100, 200 people at your games, and
hmm
then that first game of the season was probably like 6,000, seven
Wow.
thousand, something like that. So yeah, I was definitely nervous the first few games, and I didn't play that much my freshman year. So whenever I was out there,
hmm
I wasn't as comfortable as I am now. But my coach always believed in me, so it
Yeah,
helped me through.
I think it is for most people when you're playing in front of 6,000 people for the first time. I think most
Yeah.
people would agree with you and say that it's a little bit nerve-wracking right there. And your freshman season, you kind of, started to get thrown into the mix, get the hang of it. Your sophomore year, you made a massive jump, started all 33 games. You had the greatest scoring increase of any player in the A10 conference. You went from 2.3 points per game to 12.9. And you also shot the ball at 60%, which was good for 23rd highest in Division 1 basketball. You think of all the guys in college basketball to be ranked in the top 100 is amazing. Top 25 is just the best of the best. So how did you make that significant of a jump? What kind of work went into that off season? And how'd you keep that level of efficiency up over the course of a season? To shoot 60%, that right there is just pretty much magnificent field goal percentage right there. So how do you kind of stay consistent, especially after a freshman year where, as you mentioned, kind of had to get the hang of things, kind of had to get used to that level of comfortable?
Yeah. So my freshman summer, we lost a couple guys. So
Mm-hmm.
I kind of figured out I'd get an opportunity to start that season after that my sophomore season. So that freshman summer, my second summer when I got there was huge, and
Mm-hmm.
I worked extremely hard with Coach Jenkins, and we figured out that I'd have a lot of success getting to the rim because of my athleticism and
Mm-hmm.
my ability to dribble. So, and then it just worked out. Though when the season came around, I did pretty well.
Yeah, I would say so. Your field goal percentage sky high there. And I mean, your shooting has kind of always stuck with you. I know this past season in your junior year, you were the only player in the A10 conference to rank in the top 10 in field goal percentage and free throw percentage. Average 8.9 points, 5.3 boards, and shot 55.6%. And I know this year in conference play, you guys did do really well. Your scoring numbers were a little bit higher. Field goal percentage was the exact same as the whole season. So when you're going into conference play, does something change? Or I mean, do you guys kind of prepare for it the same? Or is it just kind of same old mentality heading into those games?
Definitely. I mean, when conference play starts, it's just like a new season, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
and the A10 was really good this year, so
Mm-hmm.
I tried to focus on being more aggressive. I kind of fell off a little bit at the end of out of conference season. I wasn't playing as good, so I tried to focus during conference season to,
Mm-hmm.
try and win some games so we could get into the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I mean, you guys looked outstanding all year, really. I mean, you guys went 24-7. I want to talk a little bit about the play at home. You guys were 14-2 at home. You obviously need to have a good team to do that. That goes without saying. And you got to have good ball movement, especially to get the open shots that you get. So, can you just talk a little bit about the team chemistry you guys had this past season? How that chemistry's kind of helped you in your career at Richmond, and how it's kind of helped you guys succeed as a team?
Yeah, I think the chemistry was probably the most important thing. Our whole group has went through 2 years, of losing a lot of games and
Mm-hmm.
everything. So we knew what it was to be down, and
Mm-hmm.
then to have every guy, older, and then we added Blake, Francine, who's a great player, and then Nick came back,
Mm-hmm.
who helped us tremendously, and we really all focused up and realized we had a chance to do something special, and we were able to do that.
Yeah, I mean, you guys did look really good this year. Definitely, we're gonna make a tournament bid if things didn't happen the way they did this past season, with the coronavirus and stuff. And I want to talk about something a little bit not basketball related here. Take a step away, but I read that you did over 200 hours of community service back in high school. I mean,
Yeah.
first of all, a lot of guys they do a lot of good stuff off the court. I don't think that gets realized enough. One of these things is community service. So, can you just go into a little bit about how important it was for you to kind of do work off the court for the community and what kind of stuff you did?
Oh yeah. So for my high school, before I went to Brebeuf, the one before that,
Mm-hmm.
we had to do a number of community service hours per year because
Mm-hmm.
it was like a special school. I don't know how to describe it, but yeah. So basically, with my church or with nonprofit organizations, I would just go and do whatever I can to help, and
Mm-hmm.
it's really gratifying to be able to help someone without getting anything in return.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great thing to do. And I think it's great how you can balance basketball, school, community service, do that all effectively. And as I said, I think a lot of people don't really realize what guys do off the court. So I think that's always important to mention that guys are out there making a difference and stuff. So I think that is fantastic. And the fact that you were able to balance all of that is really great. And I mean, I think that just helps you as a basketball player too, having that well-rounded personality. And I know you're entering your senior season now. I mean, believe it or not, I'm sure college feels like it flew by. You got a lot of guys coming back, and I've read a lot of things that, a lot of analysts have you guys as a top 25 team in the NCAA this upcoming season. So, I mean, what are your hopes for your senior season on both an individual level and a personal level? I mean, you guys certainly have a ton of potential this year. Should be a pretty good season. What are you kind of looking forward to this upcoming year?
Oh well, first of all, I hope we'll be able to play. With everything going
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
And then next, we have huge goals as a team,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, but just I think for like the near future is just to get better each and every
Mm-hmm.
day and build that chemistry. So, because I think chemistry is the most important part if
Yep.
we if we want to succeed. We obviously have the talent.
Mhm.
Everyone's coming back, but without chemistry, we can't do much, I think.
Yeah, I mean, your guys' chemistry has looked really, really good. And
Mm-hmm.
this season, I know a lot of people are looking forward to what Richmond's going to do. As you mentioned, let's hope it gets here on time. I know everyone's hoping that. Hopefully things settle down and stuff. But Nathan Cayo, everyone. Nathan, thank you so much for joining us on the site today. Definitely loved having you on. It was a good time.
Thank you for having me.
No problem at all. Guys, you can follow Nathan on Twitter. We're going to put his Twitter handle down below so you guys can follow his career. And as always, we will put the Richmond basketball website link down below so you can follow the Richmond Spiders on their path to the NCAA tournament next year. Hopefully, let's pray the season gets here on time. Let's hope we have a tournament. But you guys can check that out right down below as well. Nathan Cayo, everyone. Love to thank him for joining us here on the site. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you guys next time here on Edge Sports Network for another interview.